I could tell he was a bright person. I mean, he had a smile on his face the whole time, and you could just tell he was excited to be here. He was ready to play basketball.
A Northern Virginia family is grieving the loss of their son just days after dropping him off at college. Coming up on DC News Now at 5, what led to his death. And a rise in pedestrian deaths, including one this morning in Virginia. We'll have a live report on what a community is asking for. And later, an affidavit will be released. A judge is allowing parts of why the FBI searched the home of former President Trump. But first, a quick check on your forecast. Hey, Damon.
Hey, Mark. Yeah, so far it has been a spectacular day outside. A lot of sunshine. Really, we're not seeing any spotty shower activity firing up either. Things are a lot more on the quiet side. Those temperatures, they're on their way up. Just how warm are we going to get before the week ends? We'll let you know in just a bit.
All right, thank you, Damon, and good evening, and thank you for joining us for DC News at 5. I'm Mark Hall. Breaking now at 5. Police are responding to a report of shots fired at a mall in Prince George's. That's on East-West Highway in Hyattsville. Police say that this is not an active threat, and the scene is secure at this time, and they are warning people to avoid the area. Information is very limited right now. We don't know if anyone was hurt. We have a reporter and photographer heading to the scene right now, and we'll bring you a live update as soon as we learn more. Well, new tonight, the family of a Northern Virginia student athlete is grieving the loss of their son. 19-year-old basketball player Kyle Honoree was hit and killed by a train Tuesday on the Wingate University campus in North Carolina. His family had dropped him off there just days before. He graduated from Potomac High School in Dumfries earlier this summer. Now, hours before his death, his classmates say he was making friends in the university cafeteria.
I could tell he was a bright person. I mean, he had a smile on his face the whole time, and you could just tell he was excited to be here. He was ready to play basketball.
And police say the investigation is ongoing. Well, monkeypox at the University of Maryland, UMD, is reporting its first case of the virus. DC News Now's Christy Matino tells us what the school is doing now to prevent the spread as students are set to return in less than 2 weeks.
The university says the staff member who has the first presumptive case of monkeypox here on campus is doing well and has taken the necessary medical steps. And now the UMD is also taking additional steps to help prevent the spread of monkeypox on campus. They're working with the Prince George's County Health Department and have implemented cleaning and disinfecting measures. But the school is asking students to take additional steps to protect themselves. They recommend avoiding contact with people who have a rash, as well as touching objects someone infected with monkeypox may have used.
It's a little triggering because I don't want to go through the process of a huge pandemic again. For me, I'll be wearing my mask and doing the things that I was doing during COVID.
While these steps can help prevent the spread, UMD says that there most likely will be more monkeypox cases in the future, potentially, as this virus continues to spread throughout the U.S. But they are working with the health center on campus here to monitor those cases and effectively communicate with students going forward as they are set to return on August 29th. In College Park, Christy Matino, DC News Now.
Christy, thank you. Now, someone infected may experience flu-like symptoms, and the most telling sign, a rash that can look like blisters. And if you are a student who has questions, contact the University Health Center. Well, DC Public Schools is now requiring COVID vaccines for students 12 and up and testing before the year starts. It's getting mixed reactions, and DC News Now's Daniel Hamburg talked with some parents about the new safety measures, and he joins us now. Daniel.
Well, Mark, a virtual town hall event is happening right now where the chancellor is expected to go over the specifics of the district's COVID policies. Parents I talked with say the vaccine requirement is overall a good thing. As the CDC is relaxing its guidelines for quarantining and testing, DC Public Schools in some ways is stepping up its protocols, requiring students 12 and up to be vaccinated.
He have the 2 vaccines plus the booster.
Leonardo Gutierrez is happy about the new policy, even though his 11-year-old son Dominic isn't required.
Definitely we will continue doing vaccines for kids, and we as a parent, we're gonna go and push this with friends.
COVID vaccination centers and mobile clinics are still being taken advantage of in the district.
Joe's going to turn 1 tomorrow, and he just got vaccinated, and Ori He's going to be 3 in a month, and he got vaccinated too.
While her kids aren't in public school yet, emergency room doctor Rachel Slivka thinks the policy is a good idea, but acknowledges the current vaccines don't prevent the spread of COVID.
So that could be frustrating, but hopefully they're going to come up with boosters that will be more tailored to the current variant.
Though the CDC is no longer recommending testing asymptomatic people without known exposures in most community settings, DCPS is requiring all students to take a test before the school year.
Sometimes it seems like they're kind of grasping a little bit at what to do. I think it's really hard. The community spread now is so wide that tracing isn't really helpful anymore.
You can pick up rapid test kits next Tuesday through Friday at your school, and students in grades K through 12 have to take a COVID test on Sunday, August 28th. If you want to join the back-to-school town hall happening right now, just go to dcpsstrong.com. In the studio, Daniel Hamburg, DC News Now.
All right, thank you, Daniel. Now checking in on our weather out there this evening. Hey, it's shaping up pretty nicely, no question about it here. We have had fairly sunny skies all day long. There is a little bit of activity, a few spotty showers popping up down across parts of northern Virginia, all the way toward Culpeper and Luray, but that is the extent of the activity, not nearly as active as it was last evening when we dealt with those heavier downpours across much of central and southern Maryland, back into portions of West Virginia even at times. So again, things looking up in that regard. And you may have noticed with all that sunshine out there, it certainly has warmed up quite a bit compared to recent days. Right across much of the I-95 corridor and our area for that matter, we have had middle to upper 80s this afternoon. Going toward the end of the day here, things are now going to start to cool off, but we had that added warmth, no question about it, but at least it still stayed very comfortable as these lower dew points continue to hold in place up and down the eastern seaboard. Now, as we go ahead through the rest of this evening, very little is going to change. We're still going to have a very sunny sky, at least until that sun goes down. Then it will just stay mostly clear with temperatures gradually dropping off. It won't be as crisp as it was last night, but we're still looking at temperatures down in the low 60s, pretty good for mid to late August. But as we move forward here, we are going to see those temperature dials go up even more so. On the day for Friday, we're talking about upper 80s, and I would not be surprised whatsoever if we see a few lower 90s popping up out there. That's around average for mid to late August, so we're right on par there. And yes, it's not going to be one of those extended bouts of warmth. Things are going to cool off toward the weekend, but it comes at a cost. We are going to see isolated showers and storms make a return to the forecast, and we'll tell you about when and where those showers and storms may pop up on your weekend coming up here in just a bit.
Thank you. And also tonight, a lot of people aren't feeling safe in their own neighborhoods after a fatal pedestrian accident this morning. DC News Now's Katie Reed joins us live with more. Katie, you've been following this since the very beginning, and you've spoken with neighbors in the area. What are they saying?
Good evening, Mark. Like you said, people here aren't feeling safe in their own neighborhood, not even across the street. Now, this morning's accident, that fatal crash, marks the 13th fatal pedestrian incident in Fairfax County alone. Now, community members I spoke with here told me they're unfortunately not surprised by that accident. And like many, they don't even feel safe driving around this area, let alone walking.
When I try to cross Wilson on foot, it is quite difficult because cars are flying up and down. People are going 55, 60 miles an hour, and it's not even a highway.
Eldo Connolly lives in Northern Virginia. He says he doesn't feel safe to cross the street, even in his own neighborhood. And others feel the same way.
That I would probably try to find an alternate route so that I could avoid this entire area. I think that it's a pretty dangerous area for both pedestrians and drivers.
I would definitely not walk here just because people fly by and, they don't really stop, they don't really look where they're going, or they're on their phone most of the time.
In 2020, over 250 pedestrians were killed across the DMV. 10 in the district, 130 in Maryland, and 111 in Virginia. That's all according to the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
The intersection up there needs to be fixed. It needs to be blown up and redone. It's horrible intersection. I think there is a plan to do something, but I think they need to increase the timeline of it.
Thomas Vandruff, who lives in Arlington, says drivers aren't the only ones to blame in certain accidents and says the city can do more to protect both drivers and pedestrians.
At a minimum, there needs to be more emphasis on having safe, well-marked crosswalks and safe areas for pedestrians. Traffic pattern is extremely confusing, and so I think that there's a lot of drivers who don't know the area very well, who are maybe making last-second lane changes or doing some things they're not comfortable with in this area, which then obviously would distract them from being able to notice that a pedestrian might be in the road or that.
Now, the name of the person who was killed in that crash this morning has not yet been released, but we'll obviously keep you up to date with the latest information as it becomes available to us. For now, reporting live in Seven Corners, Virginia, Katie Ree, DC News Now.
Katie, thank you. Breaking tonight, a West Palm Beach federal judge is planning to make public part of the affidavit used to support a search warrant for President Donald Trump's home in Florida. The judge gave the Justice Department a week to give their proposed redactions of the information that they want to keep secret after the FBI seized classified and top secret information. The DOJ says that they are in the early stages of investigating if President Trump illegally stored classified records at his home. And the Trump Organization chief financial officer pled guilty in a tax evasion case. Alan Weisselberg admitted to taking over $1.7 million worth of untaxed perks. The judge agreed to sentence Weisselberg to 5 months in jail. The former CFO will also have to pay nearly $2 million in taxes, penalties, and interest. Now, in October, Weisselberg will have to serve as a prosecution witness when the Trump Organization goes on trial on related charges. Well, there's been an education leadership shakeup in West Virginia over the past week. Governor Jim Justice says that he thinks all the recent changes in the state's public education system are a positive step. Concern grew last week when State School Superintendent Clayton Birch left to run the West Virginia schools for the deaf and blind. The School Building Authority Chairman David Roach was then made the new superintendent. Well, this week, 2 more high-level education staffers retired, and longtime Justice confident former Senator Paul Harcity was made Board of Education president. The governor wants the classroom focus on the basics.
Today we have some even more challenges, do we not? Without any question in my book, we really need to be pouring it on reading, writing, and arithmetic. We know that.
And the governor praised the ending of the long-held practice of grading each individual school an overall grade. He said too many schools were getting grades of C or average, and that hurt the state's overall effort to attract new residents and businesses. Well, Cleveland Browns quarterback Deshaun Watson will serve an 11-game suspension in part of a settlement with the NFL following sexual misconduct accusations. He was accused of sexually harassing 24 women during massage therapy. Watson will also be fined $5 million. This is the largest player fine in NFL history. The league wanted Watson to be suspended for all season for violating its personal conduct policy. However, the decision was not up to the league. It was up to a former New Jersey Attorney General, Pete Harvey. Watson was traded from the Houston Texans to Cleveland over the offseason. After the trade, he signed a $230 million contract extension with the Browns. He will be suspended without pay. 52-year-old Paul Malone was arrested in connection with a shooting in Huntington, Virginia. Mount Vernon detectives say Malone got in an argument with a 33-year-old victim Wednesday afternoon. The argument escalated and Malone shot the victim several times. He ran to a nearby hotel where police later found him. Malone is facing several charges, including aggravated malicious wounding. The victim was taken to the hospital with serious injuries.